So as a reminder, to get into the charts menu, we're going to want to go to Graphs and Chart Builder. Now, if you're looking on YouTube, you will find other ways to get to this, but the thing is that SPSS 27 is transitioning to a new way of building charts that's more dynamic. So if you are using the old way, chances are by the time you hit your dissertation, that is going to be fully gone. So we really want to use the chart builder, and we just want to say okay. Now, the chart builder can feel confusing at times because it is a bit different and clunky, but it's actually really useful for helping us format our charts. So first, we're going to see how to make a bar chart. So to make a bar chart, you're going to go to highlight bar, and then we would just click and drag it into here. What this does is it creates a generic bar chart. Now, what's really important to realize is in a bar chart, the y-axis is always the number of responses. So it should always be the frequency. It should never be a variable because that's going to be getting into statistics that's more advanced than what we're doing. So what we want to do is we want to pick a variable for the x-axis. And like you saw in your previous video, we want to choose things that are either categories or whole numbers for a bar chart. So I'm going to choose geometry in high school because it has two options, taken and not taken. I'm going to drag that down to the x-axis box and then pull up my click. And you'll see that it generates taken and not taken, and it highlights it. Now, this is not the final output and what the final output looks like. This is just in the chart builder section. You'll also notice at the top it says simple bar count of geometry in high school. In the old legacy ways, it doesn't automatically label things, which is one of the reasons why we really like this new system. And then you're going to click OK. Once you click OK, you will go to find your output screen. So if I go to find my output screen, I'm going to see a very nice bar chart. It does look different than the menu you just saw, and it does automatically label the y-axis as count because we didn't drag anything over there. So now we can see, instead of having to look at that giant list of numbers, that we have more students that have not taken geometry than students that have taken it. We can also see close to 40 have not taken it, and somewhere around 35 have actually taken it. So that's really useful for a bar chart. Let's now take a look at how to create a histogram. So from our previous video, we know that histograms work really well for decimals. So we're going to look for a scale variable, which kind of has the odd thing that looks like a Band-Aid. We're going to click reset because that gets rid of everything that was there before, and we're going to go to histogram in the bottom screen. We're now going to drag the histogram into here, and again, we're only replacing the x-axis. So a histogram could be done with any of these scale variables because they have decimals involved. I'm going to go ahead and do it with motivation scale because that's not one in one of our assignments. And we're going to drag it to the x-axis just like we did previously. We're not going to touch the y-axis, and it's going to automatically generate that nice output. Some people may have the output automatically come to the front of their screens. Mine doesn't, so I have to just kind of go find it in the back. And now you can see, look how nice this histogram is. It's labeling the frequency. It's giving me the title. I have the variable at the bottom, and look at how nice this is on the right. It is calculating the mean, the standard deviation, and the number of responses. So this is a really great feature that we have within that chart builder, is that it's doing this and making a really nice output for us that's ready to be placed into a professional document. And then we're going to do a frequency polygon. So we're going to go back into graphs and chart builder. We are going to clear this out by hitting reset. And then the frequency is going to be in the histogram menu. It's this kind of weird up and down mountains and hills. Now, a frequency polygon is good for things that are going up and down over time, which we don't really have a good example of that in this data set because none of this is really related to time. But let's choose the same thing we did last time, motivation scale, and let's see what that does for us. So we can see that motivation scale does have some interesting high and low points, which can mean that a frequency polygon is an interesting option. And then we click OK. And I'm going to go to my output. So again, you'll see this, there's a lot of ebbs and flows. So we'll see that the motivation scale, it looks like the peak was here at 12 responses. So 12 people were around 2.8-ish maybe before 3. This would be a lot easier to figure out if I saw the bars of a histogram. A polygon has no bars. So you're going to notice, like, it's really hard to know what is the point for this valley. Is it 2.5? It's very hard to read, which is why in this case a histogram is definitely better for the motivational scale because it's much more clear. Again, frequency polygons are better for things over time. So you'll be able to take a look at that. So that's how we build those charts. It's really simple using that chart analysis tool. It inserts it into here, and just like normal, you can copy and paste, or you can take a screenshot or export this as an image to take it forward.